Welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast with Jacob Ayers, providing actionable content to help you along your journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. As the premier asset class, real estate has helped ordinary people just like you amass fortunes. The benefits of passive income from real estate investing will allow you to live a life you want. And now your host, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and apartment deal syndicator, Jacob Ayers.
Hi, and welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, episode 245. Hi, I'm your host, Jacob Ayers. Welcome back to this week's Friday Fundamentals. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day you're tuning into this, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. This week's Friday Fundamental is outcome. Now, spontaneity, adventure, and excitement are things that we crave. And then, on the other hand, we also want predictability, stability, and security. We're fickle beings, I tell you. Now, today we're going to drill down on predictability. There are certain areas of life we want to be able to predict and have control over, like health, wealth, and happiness. As much as we want to be able to control the future, we all know there are things that are simply out of our control, completely unpredictable, and have the ability to shape our future. When we make plans or set goals, there are always twists and turns in the road. No matter how much we prepare, plan, and organize, there are always those unforeseen events. Events in this context could mean anywhere from political impacts, tax changes, and economic uncertainties, all the way down to personal habits, reactions, psychology, and just the ever-happening life getting in the way. For the most part, we cannot control what events happen to us. But what we can control is the outcome of those events. Now you may be thinking, how can I control the outcome of events that are out of my control? Well, great question. I wish I could take credit for this simple yet profound formula that comes from a book called Wealth Can't Wait by David Osborne and Paul Morris, which I highly recommend, by the way. Now in the book, David and Paul lay out a simple formula that is event plus response equals outcome. That is, event plus response equals the outcome. Events, as we just defined and provided some examples, are things that happen to us. From minor events to life-changing ones, there are constant things that are happening to us that affect our outcome. But these events alone are not the only part of the equation, as you see. In fact, events aren't even the most important variable. Your response to the event is much more important in creating an outcome. How you respond to an event is up to you. It's the variable that you can control if you're conscious about it. You have the ability to perceive an event any way you want. That could be positive, negative, or neutral. If you go around perceiving events as negative, then guess what? The outcome will be negative. But if you perceive every event as a positive, or at least search for the positive in the event, then your outcomes will be positive. So let's look at a few ways you can improve your responses. 1, look at events as temporary. No matter how good or how bad an event may be, it's just temporary. That feeling you have to it will eventually change. Knowing this in the time of a negative event can help you move past it, look to the bright side, and produce a positive outcome given the situation. 2, be optimistic. You have to perceive events as something, either positive, negative, or neutral. Why not choose positivity? Your outcomes will be positive rather than negative or neutral. And 3, be conscious of your responses. It can be easy to react rather than respond. When you react, you are doing so automatically without considering the implications of your thoughts and actions. And when you respond, you are doing so with intention. Now, Vinny, Mr. Smiles Chopra, who I consider a great friend and coach, is one of the best practitioners of positivity. You may know him from his guest appearances here on the podcast. Vinny exudes positivity in everything he does. And guess what that gets him? He's always happy and helping others, not to mention wildly successful. Imagine if Vinny instead exhibited a poor me attitude. Well, he likely wouldn't be where he is today. Now, I understand not all events are positive. Unfortunately, there are negative events that do happen. But with every event, there is something you can learn from, and that in itself is positive. You can't avoid what would be negative events no matter what you do. There will always be bumps and twists in your journey. That's just part of life. Learn to respond to those events in a way that will help you constantly learn and grow, continuing on your path to success. You are in control of your response, and in turn are in control of your outcomes. So make the most of your journey. Push yourself outside your comfort zone. Help others to do the same, and build the life you want. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Friday Fundamentals. Hey, I really hope you're getting value from these short segments every week, along with our guest interviews. If so, please go over and let me know what you're liking about the show, what to improve, and maybe one of your favorite guest episodes. I would love to hear from you. Please do so by leaving a rating and review on whichever platform you're listening on. I'm going to be giving some more upcoming shout outs on some ratings and reviews I see across those platforms, so please go over and do that. Well, for more information, resources, and to connect with me, you can do so at www.jacobayers.com. Till next week, engineer the lifestyle you want.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, providing you actionable content to build your real estate empire. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for personal advice. The opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have a potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom, LLC, exclusively.